my channel. My name is Misty. Today's video is going to be all about simplifying your homeschool experience to make it less stressful and easier on you. So today I have 5 tips for you on how to do that. But first, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with all the homeschooling content going on this channel. And the like button lets me know that this is the type of video you enjoy, so I know what to make for you in the future. Let's go ahead and talk about these 5 tips. So tip number 1, which may be controversial, but I think it will help a lot, is to look up your state's minimum requirements for homeschool, what you should teach, and just stick to the bare minimum. I know that sounds a lot like underachieving, but with your first year, you're going to do a lot of trial and error. You're going to find out what works for you and what doesn't. You're going to make purchases that you won't get to fulfill financially because it doesn't work for your family, so you put it away and try something else. You're going to think something's going to work awesome, and then you find out your kid absolutely hates it. You'll get excited about a type of curriculum, and then you'll realize like it's dry and boring. So there are so many things that are playing and going on. Balancing homeschool and everything else going on top of that is a lot to handle. It can be quite a bit. So doing the bare minimum your very first year will really kind of lay a good ground for you to figure out what works for your family and what doesn't. It will help you avoid extra money expenses that you didn't need to make, and it will also make sure that you don't put more on your calendar than you can handle. So I highly recommend just doing the bare minimum requirements for your state for the very first year. So by year 2, you can definitely add in more things that interest your child or things you've been wanting to do with them, because by year 2 you should have a better rhythm and flow and an idea of what is the best learning style for your kids, what type of homeschool setting you like, what the flow of your day is, all that kind of stuff. So definitely wait for year 2 to add on anything beyond what the state already expects from you. Tip number 2, you need to follow a routine and a flow that works for you and your family, not for social media. We see a lot of videos. Obviously, I have a channel about homeschooling. I've shared our schedule and what I envision it looking like for the year. But here's the thing, no 2 families are alike. Everybody has different dynamics, different things come into play. And so what works for me may not work for you. Our homeschooling starts pretty early. We get up around 7:30 and our day starts, and we go from there, and we don't stop until lunchtime. That might not work for you. Maybe you're a mom who wants to be able to relax and wake up with the kids, kind of take it slow and go with the flow, learn throughout the day. That's fine, that could work for you. Maybe you're a working mother or father and you can only homeschool in the afternoon after you're finished working. That's fine too. Maybe you like to wait to homeschool for when your spouse is off of work. That way you can have that one-on-one time if you have multiple kids. That's fine too. There's no exact rhyme or rhythm to how you have to homeschool and set up your schedule. All I'll say is make sure you're meeting your state's minimum requirements for hours of studying or any other outlines they may have for you. So just meet those state minimum requirements, and from there figure out what works for you. Also, a side note that is very important to go along with this is that you do not have to do an 8-hour school day. 8-hour school days are for obviously teachers who need 8-hour work days and have a class of 25-30 kids. It's just you and your children, one-on-one learning. You do not need to spend way too long buried in curriculum or school activities. So number 3 actually goes hand in hand with 1 and 2, and that is don't overcomplicate things. You do not need an intricate, complicated system. You do not need to buy the most intricate, overcomplicated curricula. You don't need all that. You don't have to overfill your schedule with your kids going to 3 different sports, plus 2 different instrument classes and ballet and whatever else it may be. You don't have to do all that. Simplicity brings an ease that you wouldn't get otherwise. So the more simple you keep it, the more you say no to extra things, the less stressed you will be and the easier your flow will be. None of us like to be stressed out trying to fit everything in the day knowing that we can't. So don't overcomplicate it. If you're in a season that you just can't do all that, then don't do it. Find an activity or 2 that your child is interested in and go from there. They don't need to do 2-3 sports at a time. You can do 1 sport every season or however that works out for you, and just let them do that one thing. Running across your city from one side to the other trying to get back and forth to different activities or classes or whatever it may be, you don't need to do that. Just simplify it, pick one thing and go with it. Number 4 is a big one. Don't be afraid to reevaluate everything and change it up. We buy all this curriculum and we plan all these activities and set out all these things and have this and that plan, but if it's not working, it's not working. The truth in homeschool is that you probably will lose some of your money to things you buy that you realize don't work out for you unless from the beginning you start extremely resourceful. So we've definitely had to change things up where one thing wasn't working, so we move on to the next option. In fact, I'm going through that right now. I'm noticing some things aren't working for us this year that I thought would work just like it did last year. That's not the case. So now I'm in the process of reevaluating some of our curriculum and making choices to decide how we're going to go forward with that. So don't stress yourself out. Don't get stuck in a boring homeschool curriculum that's just dry and not working for you. If it's not working, change it up, figure it out, make it work for you guys. You're going to be miserable in homeschooling and stressed out if it's not working. So you can easily avoid that by reevaluating every so often and changing it up when it's not working. And tip number 5 is a big one for us this year. Now it may look different for different people, which we'll talk about, but tip number 5 is to create a homeschool space and environment that works for you and your family. And to go along with that, keep it clutter free. I do want to throw that in there. That will ease a lot. So here behind me, you're seeing little bits of my homeschool space, which I do have a video showing the homeschool makeover that you can watch. I'll have it up here in the cards. So like I said, make it work for you. If you have a really small space and you don't have a basement as an option or an extra room, whatever it may be, that's fine. You can create a homeschool space in your home still that's small and simple and works for you. There are a lot of families, including us last year, that will work at the kitchen table, at a collapsible table in another room. We've done both of those. So I have a collapsible table that we use in the front room as well as we use the kitchen table. I also have a bay window in my house that has a little space, like a lip that you technically could sit on. We probably shouldn't sit up there, but my girls love being in that window and working, so it's very normal for us to do homeschool in that window. That's how we did it our first year. This year, I've turned our basement into a homeschool space that works perfectly for us. It works best because due to the current circumstances, my husband is working from home. We have no other place to put him for his office other than our bedroom, which means that we would constantly be kind of in his vicinity while he's trying to work and being noisy. So for us to make it work, we decided to turn the basement into a homeschool space that we were on a whole different level from him and he can work. That's what works for our family currently. So you just have to figure out what is the best fit for you and make it work. If you're not sure how that looks for you or how to set up your space, just contact me, whether that's in the comments or I do have a business email, link down below in the drop box. However you want to reach me, Instagram too. It doesn't matter how you reach me. I'm happy to help you figure out ideas to get your space nice and organized for you and your kids. And like I said, the side note was to keep it clutter free. I try my best to keep everything where it belongs on the desks and on the shelves, and it works great for us. That way I'm not worried about the burden of cleaning up a million things after we're done. What happens is we pull out the one thing, they know the rule is you play with it or use it for school, and then it gets put away and move on to the next item. That will definitely keep things a lot calmer and organized and less stressful. So make sure you're doing that as well. So those are 5 tips I had for you to help keep school simplified, easy, and stress-free. If you have any other concerns outside of those 5, let me know in the comments down below so we can talk about them more in depth. Maybe I can figure out other solutions for you as well to help out. So before we go, make sure that you hit that subscribe button for future content just like this on my homeschool channel here, Teach Them Fun. And the like button lets me know that this is the type of content you enjoy, so I know what to make for you in the future. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day and have fun homeschooling. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.